Good day and welcome back to Iran Daily Newsfeed. Media reported on Thursday, November 4th, 6 Baha'i citizens living in Shiraz, Iran were sentenced to a total of 19 years and 6 months in prison. The verdict was issued by the Islamic Revolutionary Court. Each of the citizens were sentenced to 7 months and 16 days in prison for propaganda against the regime, and also to a 31 months and 16 days in prison for membership in dissident group. Today in Iran, religious minorities are being persecuted for their faith. Iranian women as well as ethnic and religious minorities are facing entrenched discrimination as well as violence. The Islamic authorities heavily suppress the rights to freedom of expression, association, and assembly. Anti-riot forces and security agents use unlawful force to crush protests. The tyrants continue to arbitrarily arrest hundreds of demonstrators, dissidents, and freedom lovers and sentence many of them to long-term prison and lashes. Enforced disappearances, torture, and other ill treatment are committed with impunity on a widespread and systematic basis. Death penalties are used as a weapon of political repression to silence dissidents. If you are really willing to stop human rights abuse in Iran, despite symbolic actions like calling for concerted actions by the international community to stop the Islamic authorities from carrying out executions, flagrantly unfair trials, brutal torture-tainted confessions, and long-term prison terms, you should stop dealing with mullahs and avoid appeasing them, seeking a solution and an end to excuse. So as long as ayatollahs are in power, we have witnessed all these crimes both inside the country and abroad. If you want a stable and peaceful Middle East, if you want an end to terrorism in the region and throughout the world, then stop supporting the Islamic Republic. Make Tehran more isolated than it is and support the Iranian people for a regime change in Iran. The Islamic morality police have closed several restaurants and cafes in Khorramshahr, southwestern Iran, for alleged live music and advertisement. According to news, several restaurants and cafes in the city have been shut down due to what is called unconventional advertising and playing illegal live music. In another arbitrary arrest, without revealing details, Islamic cyber police reported a young man had been arrested in northwestern Iran for uploading a clip of a group celebration in Tabriz that called norm breaking. The Islamic regime has deployed thousands of agents, even undercover, to enforce rules on the Islamic dress code, has cast a spotlight on an institution that is a major desire of ayatollahs. Iranians have had suffered from various forms of morality police since the revolutionaries took Iran. But the Gashter-Shad is currently the main agency tasked with enforcing the bogus Islamic code of conduct in public. The focus is on ensuring observance of hijab mandatory rules requiring women to cover their hair and bodies and discouraging cosmetics. But for several years now, some charlatans called themselves civil activists or journalists have used the issue to pocket millions of dollars. While there is no change in the situation in Iran, rather, the tyrants have become much more brazen and punished anti-hijab protesters in Iran with long-term prison terms. This is how the charlatans use the taxpayers' base fund. Western governments and fundraisers are told to give them money so that people in Iran can protest. As a result of not monitoring how and where the funds are spent, funds are wasted. People are repressed more brutally. Taxes are spent in the wrong places and charlatans become fatter. Republicans warned the Islamic Republic that Biden nuclear deal will be trashed when GOP retakes power. The GOP leader tells Free Beacon Joe Biden has no power to permanently unwind sanctions. The party's foreign policy leaders emphasized Tehran should consider any nuclear deal inked by the Biden administration as dead on arrival when Republicans retake control of Congress. The Republican congressional leaders also declared the president has no legal authority to speak for Congress, which will not be bound by any executive agreement unilaterally reached between the administration and the Islamic Republic. Sanctions, they added, are controlled by Congress, and Republicans will do all they can to ensure such crippling measures are put back in place. With Democrats enjoying a slim majority in both the House and Senate, and the Biden administration's popularity plunging ahead of 2022 midterm elections, the Republican Party's focus on Iran could make the hardline government think twice about re-entering an agreement that could be void within a year. And that was all for today. I'm Kate, and thank you for the privilege of your time.